Okay, good morning, y'all. It's like 9 o'clock or something. I woke up at 8 o'clock today. Not 8 o'clock on the dot, but just 8. At some point within 8 and 9 o'clock is what I'm trying to say. I started my day off watching my friend's video, and you know, I recently deleted social media because I've been trying to calm my mind and stop comparing myself to other people and their timeline and things like that. And I think I was just getting overwhelmed with the constant stream of information just from like the news and the shade room and all these things. I wanted to make sure I wasn't having the same thing happen with YouTube, where like I wake up and I just open my phone and go to YouTube and just like have someone talking at me all day. But I feel like something about this video was very intentionally placed in my direction today. It was by my friend. Her name is DearSky. You guys should definitely go follow her YouTube channel. She has great content, great quality. Her video was centered around like your 20s and, you know, preparing for that financially and just thought-wise, mentally. And I realized it was placed to me at the right time, because I've also been thinking about just adulthood in general, and it has turned into kind of a crisis in the last few weeks. Like, I've just been thinking like about how far along I am and like what I want to do and all these things, especially in college. Obviously, it's probably the OG story of many people, but just have been thinking about it a lot. And I think her video was like divinely placed because it really calmed my mind and helped me center around some of the things that I do want to do. I had to like, I was journaling. This is actually a journal I've had since I was very little. The earliest is December 22nd, 2012. So this girl has been through a lot. But I recently just started picking back up journaling and writing down my thoughts and feelings, and I was doing that after watching her video because it really just stuck with me. And I was like, why not try to monetize this content? Okay, not really, but like I was just like, I feel like I'm in my pajamas and people can say what they want about someone being on the internet with their bonnet on or whatever, but I just felt like I wanted to share this experience and finish my journaling, and then I'll come back to you. Okay. It's weird because journaling, there doesn't have to be a start and finish. I feel like the reason why it intimidated me for so long, like I would go back and forth between being consistent with it and just coming back when I felt overwhelmed, is because, I always thought of it as like, oh, I have to start and stop. I have to do it at the same time every day, or I have to do it every day. And really, you don't. It's kind of just like recording your thoughts and having a sounding board of yourself when you need to have one. And I feel like lately I've been doing it way more consistently. Like, I think kind of just like every few days or almost every day for the past week. And it's been super helpful just in getting my thoughts down somewhere. I feel like maybe that was my mistake, or another thing that contributed to my sense of like being overwhelmed by social media is because oftentimes I was using it as a way to like not sit with myself and not like be bored, but also not engage in certain thoughts, and to also overshare. That's and I know I actually really do like creating content and like talking to a camera. I feel like I'm good at it just because, I don't know. I do have a tendency to like overshare some information sometimes on social media because I used it as kind of my diary instead of like actually having a diary. So I found it to be very helpful when I'm like having thoughts. Also, something else about getting rid of social media is that like you kind of just realize that like life, this has just been like not an epiphany, but just like a realization that I've had in like just the 3 days that I've like not had it on my phone. It's just like life will continue on regardless. I feel like so often now we, especially educated people, or people with a sense of like justice or who want justice. Like for me, I want to go into law. I'm very into social justice, reform, things like that. So like people like this, I feel like we have this deep rooted need to stay up to date and like constantly know what's going on and have an opinion about everything. Just that mindset, not even the action really, just that mindset of like feeling like I need to know everything at all times and I can't be left out, and all those things have really been taking a toll on me. And I've realized it's not necessary right now in my life. Like, I don't need to compare myself to anyone else. The world will continue to unfold before my very eyes, regardless of whether or not I'm constantly checking in. It's important for me to just take this time right now to just do what I need to do. And right now what I need to do is more self-discovery, more emotional, spiritual work, and build my social skills. And so that's what I'm doing. Also, this idea of like measuring, I hope you didn't see my knees right there. Measuring the importance or impact of one goal versus another. I'm not gonna get too into detail, but I did recently end a relationship that I had with a person. One of the topics that we talked about a lot was definitely goals. And I felt like the issue was they were emphasizing that goals are important to them. And they were telling me that they did not see in me any ambition or like focus on a goal. And like the disconnect in us, in our mindsets or whatever, was that we just saw things differently. I see that different people are on different tracks and have different ambitions and aspirations, but it doesn't make them any less important. So that someone same age could be more focused on their social goals or their mental goals. And for me, that's what I was doing. I was more focused on my social, mental, spiritual, and they're more focused on their career, education, things like that. And that's not to say that I'm not also focused on my education, but my priorities and the things that I am most intentional about, or at least growing to be more intentional about, were completely different. And that's okay. And I don't believe that you can't be friends with somebody like that, but I believe that they were experiencing this like stunt in perspective building, and it prevented them from being a good friend to me and being a good partner. And when they communicated their thoughts, they weren't able to communicate them in a respectful way, so that had to end. But I just wanted to touch on that like different goals can be different, but they're still meaningful, you know. And like even as little as they can be, like just deciding to make a morning routine and focusing on like your specific routine in the day, or saying that you want to be intentional about recognizing one big emotion a day, or just something as simple as like, I want to create new hobbies and I want to sit here and make the time to watch a show every single day. These things are just as important as I want to be an attorney one day, or I want to be a journalist one day. You know, it's important. They're just different and important in different ways. And I would say that for me, that's where I'm at. And it was unfortunate that we couldn't reconcile that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Some things that's been on my mind. And I feel like today is such like, not necessarily a nice day, but sitting here at my desk, I don't do this very often. Lately, again, with social media, I've been just comparing myself to other people, and I haven't recognized my own ecosystem. Like, I have great friends. I like, even just sitting in my room right now, like looking at the lighting and like my mirror and my bed frame and the pictures that I have on my wall and the quotes and everything, and my bed. Like, I have a nicely decorated room. Like, I don't know why I was like, thoughts are everywhere, but sometimes it's just important to take a moment and recognize some things in our general vicinity. Remember some things. But that's where we are today. I just wanted to take the time to journal with you guys. Definitely invest in a journal. And I think it's also a really cute idea that like one day, if you want, because some of these things are super private, but some of these things are like, I think it would be cute that like future generations can like look back at like where the past generation was and realize that they aren't alone, because I think it's really beneficial to just your growth, to realize, hey, everyone's in a different spot, but also everyone's also in the same spot at the same time, if that makes sense. And also for yourself, to just be like, oh my gosh, look at how much I've grown, or look at how much I've stayed the same, which is scarier, but you know, get a journal. Anyways,